Hi everyone.
Hello.
Here we are. Bevel on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yes.
It is stir fry today, and I've just panned you around to see our audience. Here we are. There's our Adam. Here we are, and we have today is stir fry. So there we go. Now I'll hand you over to Johnny.
Yeah. So today, I think stir fries are a really good recipe for kind of just adding every and any veg. So we'll very quickly talk over the recipe, but today I won't really be following it so much. Today is about just any veg you've got lying around, put it in, how you can do it, how to make it taste good. So step one, you're preparing all your vegetables. Step two, getting your spices and that together, which I have all here laid out, and then you're really just frying your veg. And I think the important thing about a stir fry recipe like this is have all your prep done, then heat your oil and get it in, and having everything all a uniform size, because the point of a stir fry is you don't stop stirring. It cooks really quick, shouldn't take very long at all.
Hi Sally.
Hi Sally. So I have most of the things kind of half prepared, but I'll just go through and show you how to chop stuff. So things that are in the recipe, first of all, onion. So
Sally says hi.
hi Sally. So I have these wee shallots that I need to use up, and I have them chopped here. So I will just show you how to chop one. So we take the top off.
See Johnny losing a finger.
Oh, don't say that. Cut it in half. Waste bowl for my scraps.
So he's just getting a waste bowl for his scraps. Is it two eyes staring at you there?
I know.
Stir fries are amazing. I love stir fries. I mean,
Yeah.
I eat stir fries a lot.
Very versatile, really good at using anything that you've got left over. Really good for making them taste different. Probably the most versatile thing that we've done so far.
It's great because you can use up anything that's left in your fridge. Mushrooms, onions, corn. It's great.
You name it. So I have it skinned. I'm just going to, with one finger in front, two behind, thumb and the pinky at the back for support. I'm sure you have saw me doing this loads if you have been watching. Flip down.
Now I realise if Sally was doing that, she'd at least lost two fingers by now.
Two fingers, Well, you know what, as much as I'm on here talking about knife skills and stuff like that, you chop it whatever way you feel comfortable, just as long as you're doing it safely. And this is the type of thing today you probably want to be taking your time over the knife skills part of it, because you want everything to be the same size. So mushrooms, I've taken the stalk and I'm just going to peel it, because these mushrooms are a bit past their best. But if you do have mushrooms that aren't looking too great, take the and have a fairly cleaner looking mushroom. Put it down, exactly the same as the onion. We're just going for nice thin slices like that. You don't need to take the stalks out.
I usually do. I know
Yeah.
a lot of people don't, but I usually do.
If you're going to leave the stalk in, you kind of need to put it on its side, which is completely fine, but it's not the safest. You really, anything round, you really want like a flat surface.
That's how I take the stalks out. Get a better surface to cut on.
And if you're not wanting to waste the stalks, by all means just look. And there's absolutely zero waste.
I think, see, what the way I do it is, see if you're making something, like, say like a fried breakfast, I don't know, but that way you can do it just half mushroom and keep the stalk on, and you've got a substantial mushroom.
Yes.
But the likes of that, when you want it a wee bit smaller, I usually take the stalks off.
Yeah. So what else do we have? We have peppers.
Hi Susan!
Hello!
Hip hip hooray!
Hooray.
So that was a joke referring to your hips, sorry.
And you see I just
How you doing?
That there.
So here we go, tomatoes. It's a pepper, I know it's a pepper, tomato just...
On the subject of tomatoes though, that is something that you would I think most people might think twice about putting it in a stir fry. Try it, it's lovely. I tried it not that long ago and I thought, oh, this isn't really going to go, but it did.
But I just that Susan, Sally's at home, and it's Johnny and I that's doing it today. Because Susan's just said hi to my wee pal Sue as well, and I thought Sally's not here. It's
So, same process, we're just moving the knife away from ourselves. If anybody's in the house practicing, wanting to learn about knife skills and stuff, the one thing I would say that's you don't want to be doing is this. You don't want to be moving it. That just feels so alien to me because I'm used to it. But if you think on it, like you're moving a knife away from yourself, it's moving away from you. It just makes it a wee bit safer. That's our peppers.
go. So that's his jug full of peppers,
So we have
mushrooms,
Yep.
onions,
we have bean sprouts here,
bean sprouts.
and we've got these little baby corns.
I love them, wee baby corns.
So do I.
See wee baby corns and you get butter. Oh,
I know.
heaven.
And for these, you can either just cut them into circles, like the recipe tells you to do. But what also looks quite nice, I think it's quite a kind of Asian thing, is if you cut it to an angle. And the other good thing about doing it this way, I don't know if this is actually true or if it works, but if you cut it at an angle, you actually get more surface area. So, what?
Thanks very much, Susan.
Okay.
Susan's up in crutches now. Well done, Susan. Yes.
Susan, I'm going to make you something and bring you over. I'm not telling you what it is, but I've been talking to Lauren, so I know what you like. So a few things that aren't in the recipe, leek. I had a leek lying around. So I'm just going to cut this into circles.
I've never had leek in a stir fry.
Yeah, so the way that I would kind of view it is the top green part is like the green bit of a spring onion, and the bottom part is the onioniest bit. It's like a really, really big spring onion. So when you think about onions, leeks, shallots, spring onions, they can all be used like instead of one or in place of one another.
I never thought of that. That's an idea I can make. That'd be quite good actually. Leek on a in a stir fry, not on a stir fry, in a stir fry.
So that's another thing. I'm doing that because I realised this a wee while ago. I used to just chuck it in like that. Then as you're stirring it, you've got to wait until you stirring it kind of breaks it apart.
Right.
But see if you kind of do that and get them all dislodged from one another, it'll cook quicker.
Susan has requested lasagna.
Well,
She's got at the bottom, lasagna, please, please,
aye,
please.
right, that's what I was going to make you anyway, right? So, aye.
A big smile has now went across Susan's face. And that's quite good because that's broken it. Yeah, I can't speak now. That's broken it all up.
Yeah. I think it looks nicer with that as well. Same with your onions. I'm going to do the same
Leeks.
kind of parting.
You're going to smell onions all day now.
I smell onions and garlic all the time, so it comes with the territory.
Ah. Hi, Kira.
Hi, Kira. Right, I'll do it.
Okay, so we've got, oh, so what else are we having? We've got leek, mushrooms, peppers, onions, and we still have courgette and carrots
Yeah, I'm
to
just
add to it.
washing my hands. I'll be back in a second.
Is that dill and coriander you've got there?
That is fennel and
Fennel
coriander.
and coriander.
So fennel is...
See, I'm learning my herbs. I'm getting there slowly.
So coriander
Fennel,
is quite a lemony flavoured herb, and what did I say it was again?
Fennel.
Fennel, go on. It's kind of anisey. So they're going to go right in at the end, right at the very end. They'll go in to kind of keep their flavour.
Because I imagine if they put them in at the start, the flavour would kind of disappear.
Yeah, and
So
also,
it's fresher if you put it in at the end.
yeah, and as well with herbs like this, soft ones don't hold up as well to the heat. So to get the flavour, you really want to be putting them in at the end. They also run a really high risk of burning. And in fact, I might actually just stir these through in the last 10 seconds when the whole pot is off the heat. So things like rosemary and stock air type herbs can withstand high amounts of heat for long periods of time, but
But they can't.
they can't.
Because I imagine that would just kind of disappear, wouldn't it? It would just
Disappear and
burn
burn.
up quite quickly.
So carrot, not in the recipe, but I'll show you something that I quite like to do. So I've got my speed peeler here. I'm peeling the carrot, just rotating it with my left hand, peeling down with my right hand, like so. So yeah.
Right, no, I was going to say mostly in stir fries you see it cut long ways, don't you?
You do see it cut long ways, and I can show you how to do that with a
What's
tiny
that? Is that
wee
a
bit of
julienne carrot when it's cut long ways?
Yeah,
Is that-
so the way that you would julienne a carrot would be like this. You would top and tail it, you would square it off, and if you're working in a kitchen, this all might go into the stock pot so it doesn't get wasted.
Yeah, big vegetable stock. Because you've done that a few times, made a big vegetable stock while the
Yep,
bits and bobs that's left.
do it like that, and then just
Again, Sally would lose a finger.
again, no, I mean anybody that's in the house practicing, slow and steady wins the race.
See, that's amazing. Look how wee they are.
Do you know, I could probably get them weir.
Aye, because if you were kind of take your time, because you're kind of rushed a wee bit.
See,
Amazing, isn't it?
I made wee mistakes there at the end, but you know that's roughly a julienne carrot. It's probably a wee bit big, to tell you the truth, but that is how you would
Amazing.
do that.
Look at that. How skillful is that?
But I'm going to show you something even cooler.
Right, here we go.
Just the same as how I was peeling it. Hold it this way actually.
See, these speed peelers are great. They're much better than any ones you use by hand.
I know.
So is that what you're doing? Are you just slicing that into wee thin slices?
Literally, yeah, it's like ribbons.
Oh, aye. Oh, that would cook quicker, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Because sometimes when you have stir fry, you do get kind of chunky bits, and it's usually like so the carrot.
Now
Right,
I
got
will
you.
be honest, I mean traditionally in Asia they probably use a knife to do this. I highly doubt that they would be using a speed peeler, and
No.
I can't say that I know how they get it like that with a knife much better than
Oh,
me.
it's practice. They just do that constantly. I mean, it's practice with them.
But I mean that's your
So
carrot
there's your-
rounds,
Bro,
and a lot of people
I
courgette
love courgette.
like to take the skin off, but you know still use the white part in the middle, which is completely fine. And sure enough, you can do exactly the same thing.
See, I like courgette in a stir fry. I like water chestnut in a stir fry as well.
Chestnuts and stuff are amazing. But there's the ribbons. I will use this in a pasta. Maybe a lot of, you know,
Oh, there you go,
peppers
'cause
and
that way you've got-
carrots.
Mhm.
Yep, so that's that.
That's quite versatile because I mean you can use that if you could go out and buy carrots, courgettes, mushrooms, blah blah blah, and you could get like 2 or 3 different meals out of the one lot of vegetables because you've got stuff to make lasagna or spaghetti bolognese, and you've got stuff for a stir fry.
Exactly. So this is the garlic. I see a lot of things and a lot of recipes and stuff tell you to like mince the garlic and to cut it really fine, and I get it, but with something like this I wouldn't cut the garlic too small. because we're doing everything on like a medium to high heat, so the smaller you cut it, the higher risk there is of it burning. So I know to some people that might look a wee bit haphazard, kind of chunky, but it will cook out, and it doesn't need to be as small as you would think that it does. So
Cool.
the hob.
See where audience has left us.
Ah,
Gone. Like, they've left us. Right, here we are.
Oil.
You can either use a big pan or a wok. That's for oil.
So whilst the oil's heating, we'll maybe go through a wee bit of the information here. Did you know you can sprout your own mung beans at home? That's just an amateur bean sprout. They'll be ready to eat in approximately 4 days.
My God.
Bean sprouts were often eaten on long sea journeys, as the mung beans will keep dried until foreseeably sprouted and then provide a highly nutritious fresh meal. So
See?
very small but packs a big punch.
No, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
So, and waste saving tips. It's another great recipe for just using any vegetables, any scraps of meat, pretty much anything. You know, you could use chicken, you could use pork, beef, duck if you had it lying around. I know Sue doesn't really like duck.
No, I couldn't eat a duck. No. So this is just a plain vegetable stir fry.
Plain vegetable stir fry can be served with rice, noodles, but today we're just doing plain.
Noodle. I tend to put noodles through it.
Yeah, I think in the picture
It's noodles.
we have noodles in the picture,
Yeah.
but today we're just going to. What's quite important here as well is to make sure that the oil is actually hot. The pot's certainly hot.
Because you want it goes. You want it to.
Precisely.
People can't see the gesture I just made there, but dog barking in the background is actually my phone. It was a duck that was on my phone, but everybody kept looking around going, why is there a duck in here? So now I've got a dog barking, which is a bit more... You can understand there's a dog outside, but not a duck.
Easiest way to check, obviously you can hear sizzling there, but...
Yeah.
So that's the sound that you want to hear. If you don't hear that, it's probably not ready, and you don't want to be putting things into cold oil, because they'll just absorb all that oil and be kind of nasty. So I'm putting in my garlic, onion. Smell it already.
Smells amazing in here.
Leeks.
It's garlic, onion, leeks.
Garlic, onion, and leeks. I'll give this maybe a minute or two.
Oh, you should smell it in here. It smells like... Smells as if you're making leek and potato soup.
It does a wee bit, aye. Might be worth mentioning as well, if at any point things get too hot, you can always move the pot off the heat to control your heat.
That's quite a good thing about gas. See, gas central heating.
Yeah.
Gas on the hob.
Mhm.
It's really good because you get a good control over the heat of your...
Yeah, you do. Electric cookers tend to build, but in all honesty, this glass top electric cooker's probably the best electric cooker that I've worked with. So, just going to get that back up fine.
Because I find sometimes it does get too hot, and with the gas you can turn it right down to a tiny, tiny peep. Let me see, look at that. So that's all your onions and your leek all mixed in together. That's amazing. Now I've got carrots and courgettes. There you go. My hand's coming in high.
So on the recipe, for kind of to make it user friendly, I wrote in the recipe that you were to do like your onions and garlic and stuff, then the rest of your veg all in at the one time and cook it for 10 minutes, and you can absolutely do that, it's not a problem. But if we want to kind of, you know, take it to the next stage and maybe think a wee bit more about it, think about your ingredients and what cooks quickest. And you know, so for example, onion, you would want to be cooking that out for quite a while because it's a really strong flavour. Same with carrot, it takes a good while to cook.
It's not so bad though because you've cut them so thin like that. Sometimes if you do them, like you've seen them in a stir fry and they're like julienne but a bit thicker.
Yeah.
And they take forever.
I'm going to use a wee bit of this paste. It is garlic and lemongrass. And in here I have a spice mix of, what do I have in here? I've got
Five spice,
ginger, chilli powder and cumin.
Sally's just written, it always smells amazing in a kitchen unless it's fish pie day.
Yeah.
Quite agree with you there.
Yeah.
Oh no, you can't help it. Fish pie is just, it's just wrong and it lingers. I know people love fish pie, but the smell lingers. It really, really does. Look at that. With peppers in, corn in. You see, I would have put corn in before because I always find corn's a bit hard.
Well, yep, and that's a preference thing as well. Like, I'm sort of winging it a wee bit purposely to show people that you can do whatever, but you could definitely stick your corn in quicker. Right, so
Look at colours, that's amazing. Look at that. It's funny, see when you cook it in the house, see when you're doing it in the house, it never looks as good as when you're watching somebody else do it.
it's weird that, isn't it?
It's like when you're cooking food, if you cook it, it's got
Oh,
one
it's nice.
taste, but if somebody else cooks it for you, it tastes absolutely amazing. It's like tea, so somebody makes a cup of tea, somebody else makes your tea, it's brilliant. If you make tea, it's rotten.
Good oils to use for this as well. I've used rapeseed oil today, which is the healthiest.
Sorry, no, it's okay. Peanut.
Peanut, sesame seed oils are quite traditional.
I think it's sesame seed I've got in the house. Because a
Sesame
wee bit of
seed.
nutty, that kind of...
I think that's one thing that I can say really does make a difference. See when you're doing anything Chinese, if you use your...
Julie says it looks... Julie Leggett says it looks great. Believe me, it looks even better when you're standing next to it. But then anytime Johnny makes food, it's great anyway. Soup King, the Belleville Soup King. I don't know if MD Johnny's carrot and coriander soup is the world's best soup ever. That's the bean sprouts. They're all done last.
Yeah. But again, you know, you could put all your veg in at the one time. It's up to you. But maybe just depending on what veg you're using, have a think about what kind of cooks faster and stuff like that. Plus the packaging might very well tell you as well, you know. Right.
It just looks... Do you put soy sauce in yours?
Yep, so that is the two last things.
That's what I tend to. I tend to drown, so I put too much soy sauce in. It ends up too salty and end up drinking gallons the rest of the night.
See, it depends. See, I got the soy sauce. Hold on to a show. I'm going to show everybody.
See, I think it depends as well, because you put spices and all that in it. Sometimes people do for quickness, it's just soy sauce and that's it.
If anybody goes into Aldi and comes across this, it is extremely strong.
Right, so you only need a tiny wee bit.
Yep, only need a wee bit. So.
Yes, we miss you too, Julie.
Aye, Julie.
She says, miss you all and the great grub.
We miss you as well, Julie. You need to come up for a game of rounders when this is all calmed down.
Right, so there you go. Look at the colours on that. Oh, believe me, it smells as good as it looks.
The very last thing I'm going to do here is chop the coriander and
Fennel.
God, why can I not remember the name of it today?
It's because you're not used to working with fennel. It's not something you use every day. Is
No, it
fennel.
isn't. I think it was actually Chris that brought the fennel plant. Again, I'm not going to chop it any smaller than that. I'm just going to leave it like this.
There you go.
And this is also proof that you don't have to use a wok. You can just use a pot.
It's like 'cause a lot of people don't have woks. I remember the handle broke in mine. I used to use my wok all the time and the handle broke on it. And I got another wee one, and it's a cross between a pot and a wok. It's a funny wee kind of pot, but it's great for making stir fry. No, I mean, that's what I love about stir fry. You can throw it just in your fridge, see what's left, and just throw it all in.
Yeah, if I had it all, though, I would say half sesame oil, half rapeseed oil. Secret ingredient.
Right, here we go. He's got a secret ingredient.
Laura's
Honey!
honey.
This is Laura's very own honey. Here we are. Yeah, Scammely honey. Can't beat it.
And the good thing about stir fries as well is there tends to be no need for a sauce, especially not just a basic kind of one like this, because you can see that the sauce is already there. And I'd say that this is done.
That's it. Because once you put your noodles in, that's you. I mean, we're not doing noodles today, but once you put your noodles in, and that's it. You don't really need a sauce. I don't think I've ever had a stir fry with a sauce, to be honest.
No, I mean, you get a lot of other Chinese foods do have sauces, but I'm with the kind of thought process, if it doesn't need a sauce, don't give it one.
No.
Thing, you know?
No, I wouldn't put a sauce in a stir fry. I think if you start adding too much sauce like that, it takes the crispness out your veggies. Because your stir fry is sitting in a sauce and takes the crisp away.
Yeah.
As opposed to in there, it's sitting in water, but you've not got it in very long. And therefore, you don't need the sauce. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm going to make you jealous because I get to try this.
Sorry about the presentation there, Sue's arm was in there.
Sorry, it was my arm, I know, sorry.
That's okay.
I just want to let everybody see how yummy it is, and I was just too close to you. See, look at that. How heavenly is that? I'm going to make your mouth water because I'm going to eat it. Thank you very much, Johnny.
No bother.
So there you go. So there you are. That's everything all in there all together. Yeah, Johnny's eating his. What's the verdict?
Roasting.
The verdict is, see there, proof is in the pudding.
Very nice.
Very nice. So, anything else you'd like to say, Johnny, before we say bye? We hope we all enjoyed you.
Yeah, no, I think that's about it.
So there you are. You can add absolutely anything you want to your stir fry, and you can put noodles, rice, etc. And we are going to enjoy this now. So we will see you next time, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.